Hello and welcome back to the chaos that is Shani and Books. Today I am bringing you another round of 2025 books that I am excited about. My computer is just not doing well at the moment. I might even film this video and the next one right now so I can just get it over and done with. If you haven't seen, I had a huge list of 2025 releases that I was excited about, so I have split it into multiple parts. I think this is part 3. There'll be one more part after this that I'm likely going to film next so that I can just get it out of the way. So let's just get into the books. We have a range of genres. I've been going chronologically, so we are up to mid-March and moving into April. So the first one on my list is an author I haven't read from before, but I keep seeing him everywhere. This is The Buffalo Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. This one is horror and it's about vampires, so I'm excited. It's a chilling historical horror set in the American West in 1912, following a Lutheran priest who transcribes the life of a vampire who haunts the fields of the Blackfeet Reservation looking for justice. Like I said, I have not read a Stephen Graham Jones before, but I keep seeing stuff about his work, so I would be tempted to pick up his new release. And I do like vampire books. So next we have a thriller, which I'm always not sure about, but this one is called Killer Potential, and I can see here that it says perfect for fans of My Sister the Serial Killer, which I did enjoy. Okay, it's two unlikely fugitives, an SAT tutor who finds her rich employers brutally murdered, and the bound woman she frees from their mansion. Oh my god, wow. A scholarship kid with straight A's and big dreams, Evie Gordon always thought she was special, that she'd be someone. But after graduating from an elite university, she finds herself drowning in debt and working as an SAT tutor for the super rich of Los Angeles. Everything changes one Sunday when she arrives for her weekly lesson, and in lieu of a bored teenager finds the bloody remains of the parents strewn through their beautiful back garden and a woman crying for help within the closet. As Evie works to free her, the two are spotted, and within moments they go from bystanders to suspects. Okay, that's an interesting plot. This one, this cover down here, it's called Stop Me If You've Heard This One by Kristen Arnett. Can I click on this so that cover is like big? There we go. 18th of March, this one is as well. Fiction, queer, LGBT, contemporary are the first few tags. A sparkling and funny new novel of entertainment, ambition, art, and love. Cherry Hendricks might be down on her luck, but she can write the book on what makes something funny. She's a professional clown who creates raucous, zany fun at gigs all over Orlando. Between her clowning and her shifts at the aquarium store for extra cash, she's always hustling, not to mention balancing her judgmental mother, her messy love life, and her equally messy community of fellow performers. Things start to look up when she meets Margot the Magnificent, a much older lesbian magician who seems to have worked out the lines between art, business, and life, and has a slick, successful career to prove it. With Margot's mentorship and industry connections, Cherry is sure to take her art to the next level. Plus, Margot is sexy as hell. Oh my god, this sounds like so fun. I am excited for this one, obviously, or else it wouldn't be on this list. This one is called Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen, another vampire book. Wow. I feel like I've had lots. Here's the cover. I don't know, why is the cover not there? There we go. Gothic horror for the ages, combining shiver-inducing horror with sharp-fanged social commentary. This more that merits comparison to Dracula and other genre titans. Okay, we're in the Netherlands in 1887. Oh, if I'm trying to read around the world again next year, I haven't read a book set in the Netherlands. Lucy's twin sister Sarah is unwell. She refuses to eat, mumbles nonsensically, and is increasingly obsessed with a centuries-old corpse recently discovered on her husband's grand estate. The doctor has diagnosed her with a temporary insanity caused by a fever to the brain. To protect her twin from a terrible fate in a lunatic asylum, Lucy must unravel the mystery surrounding her sister's condition, but it's clear her twin is hiding something. Then again, Lucy is harboring secrets of her own too. Then the worst happens. Sarah's behavior takes a turn for the strange. She becomes angry and hungry. Oh my gosh, how fun. Changing up completely. We have a cutesy little romance. This cover is so cute. Obviously it's pink, so I'm gonna love it. This is Just Our Luck by Denise Williams. 25th of March 2025 is when it is expected to be published. A lottery ticket and donuts equal love in this steamy new fake dating romance from beloved author Denise Williams. So after years of bouncing from job to job in search of something that feels right and from man to man in search of something special, Sybil is embracing her role as the directionless, floundering member of her family. All she really wants now is a little financial stability and carb comfort. Lucky for her, she's got just enough in the bank to buy a lottery ticket, and the late night donut store is open. The other character is Kieran Anderson, abandoned his dreams of becoming a doctor to take over running his family's bakery, and after 2 years of fighting a losing battle to save the place, he's exhausted and broke. But when a whirlwind of a woman steps in late one night, flirty energy gives way to more until she runs out the next morning, leaving behind her winning lottery ticket. Oh my God, this sounds fun. Next up, an author that I have read before and know I love. This is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. This is the 1st of April. Okay, we're into the April books now. Some might be out of order, but I tried to order them in the order that they come out. I am obviously going to be picking this one up. If you want to read it with me, I'll probably do like a Storygraph buddy read at some point, I think, if I can work out how to do it if you want to join. There might be no such thing as the perfect guy, but Xavier Rush comes disastrously close, a gorgeous veterinarian giving Greek god vibes, all while cuddling a tiny kitten. Immediately, yes. Okay, that is until he opens his mouth and proves that even sculpted gods can say the absolute wrong thing, like really wrong. Of course, there's nothing Samantha loves more than proving an asshole wrong, unless of course he can admit he made a mistake. But after one incredible and seemingly endless date, possibly the best in living history, Samantha is forced to admit the truth, that her family is in crisis and any kind of relationship would be impossible. She begs Xavier to forget her, to remember their night together as a perfect moment, as crushing as that may be. I feel like I didn't get much from that synopsis, but I'm excited for it nonetheless. One is a thriller, which again I don't normally read, but I have read from this author before. This is The Last Session by Julia Bartz. When a catatonic woman shows up at the psychiatric unit, social worker Thea swears she knows her from somewhere. She's shocked to discover the patient holds a link to a traumatic time in her past. Upon regaining lucidity, the patient claims she can't remember the horrific events that caused her brain to shut down. Thea is at a loss, especially when the patient is ripped away from her as suddenly as she appears. Determined to find her, she follows a trail of clues. Okay, I don't want to get too into the synopsis because it is a thriller, but I would pick up from this author again. Another mystery that I'm so excited about. This one is a sequel, so if you haven't read the first book, you probably need to read that first, but I recommend reading the first book. This one is Vera Wong's Guide to Snooping on a Dead Man, which is the second in the Vera Wong series. It's by Jessie Q Sutanto. I loved Vera in the first book. She is an elderly Asian lady and it was just perfect for me. It was my favorite book the year that I read it, so I'm so excited for the sequel. I'm not going to really read the synopsis, but the first book was basically about our character, Vera Wong, who accidentally finds a dead person in the tea shop that she has. So I guess this is going to be her solving another mystery, and I am so excited for it. Next up, we have a fantasy, which I don't normally read. This is Gifted and Talented by Olivia Blake. I have read from Olivia Blake before. It was not a fantasy though, so I am putting this on the list in case I want to pick up a fantasy. I do believe Olivia Blake is Filipino, so I have it on there as if I want to read from her. But yeah, an adult fantasy is a bit scary. Where there's a will, there's a war. Brilliant CEO and so-called father of modern technology is dead. Any one of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children would be a plausible inheritor to the throne, or at least they like to think. Okay, wow, okay, so they've got like superpowers and they are wanting to inherit their dad's whatever he has. I feel like that's not too fantasy-ish because I've read some other books that have like a little bit of superpowers like that, and I feel like this could be okay. I'm keeping it on the list. We do have another fantasy. This one is a novella though, so not as intimidating for me. A Palace Near the Wind by A. Jiang. Didn't look up pronunciations. We're in the 8th of April now. Sometimes called windwalkers for their ability to command the wind. Unlike their human rulers, the Fang people have bark faces, carved limbs, arms of braided branches, and hair of needle threads. Bound by duty and tradition, Lu Fang, the eldest princess of the Fang royalty, is the next bride to the human king. The negotiation of bride wealth is the only way to stop the expansion of the humans so that Fang can keep their lands, people, and culture intact. Okay, this is a little bit more fantasy than I normally read, but it's a novella. So I could be convinced to pick it up, and also Asian fantasy. So this one is a lit fic called Sky Daddy by Kate Folk, expected the 8th of April. This hijacks the classic love story exploring desire, fate, and the longing to be accepted for who we truly are. Linda is doing her best to lead a life that would appear normal to the casual observer. Weekdays, she earns $20 an hour moderating comments for a video sharing platform, then rides the bus home to the windowless garage she rents on the outskirts of San Francisco. But on the last Friday of each month, she indulges in her true passion, taking Bart to SFO for a round-trip flight to a regional hub. The destination is irrelevant because each trip means a new date with a handsome stranger. A stranger whose intelligent windscreens, sleek fuselages, and powerful engines make Linda feel a way a human never could. Linda knows that she can't tell anyone she's sexually obsessed with planes, nor can she reveal her belief that her destiny is to marry one of her suitors by dying in a plane crash. This is like so crazy. She's in love with the plane. Okay. I am intrigued, to say the least. Next up on the 8th of April, a more normal romance. We have a sapphic romance by Jasmine Guillory, Flirting Lessons. It is called, this is her first queer romance. I feel like this author has written a lot of romances. I feel like I see her name everywhere, but I've never read from her, but a queer romance I'm so excited for. So we have one character who is almost 30, fresh off a breakup, and she's tired of always being so uptight and well behaved. She wants to get a hobby, date around, especially other women, flirt with everyone she sees. All the fun stuff normal people do in their 20s, but she doesn't know how to do any of that. She doesn't have a lot of dating experience with men or women, and despite being self-assured at work, she doesn't have a lot of confidence when it comes to romance. Oh, this sounds so cute. And then the other character is the biggest flirt and champion heartbreaker. Oh no, I'm scared. Taylor just broke up with her most recent girlfriend, and her best friend bet her that she can't make it until Labor Day without sleeping with someone. 2 whole months without sex. Oh, okay. So she offers to give Avery flirting lessons. It will keep her busy, stop her from texting people. Oh my god. Okay, this sounds so cute. I'm so excited for this. Also, the cover's pink. Next, we have another author I have read from before. I've had mixed results. This is Beth O'Leary's new book, Swept Away. Another romance. So Lost at Sea with Your One Night Stand. So they stay on a houseboat and then it ends up being swept out to sea and they're stuck on there. So anyone who loves romances where they are like isolated, this will be for you. Next up, I'm so excited for this one, and the release date has just gotten pushed and pushed and pushed back. I had this on my list last year because it was meant to come out in 2024. Now it's being released apparently on the 15th of July, 2025, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandana. I loved this author's previous book. This is a fantasy romance. It's very cozy. And this is about a witch who has a second chance to get her magical powers and her life back on track. She was once one of the most powerful witches in Britain. Then she resurrected her great aunt Jasmine from the very recently dead, lost most of her magic, befriended a semi-villainous talking fox, and was exiled from her magical guild. Now she slightly reluctantly and a bit grumpily helps Aunt Jasmine run the inn where she deals with her quirky guests' shenanigans, tries to keep the talking fox in check, and longs for the magical future she lost. When she learns about an old spell book that could hold the secret to restoring her power, she finds herself turning to Luke Larson, a gorgeous and icy historian who might be the only person who can help her unlock the book's mysteries. Sounds so fun. I'm so excited, and I hope that it actually does come out in July. Wait, it got pushed back again. July? I'm not meant to be in July books. This list is meant to be April books. It was April. Okay, so it did get pushed back further. I was gonna say, I'm not up to the July books yet. No. I was gonna treat myself to this book on my birthday, which is July 9, and now it's not coming out until July 15. Oh, I'm so sad. Okay. Wait, maybe the Australian edition is 6th of December. Oh my god. What is going on with this book? Is it ever going to come out? All right, I'm moving on before I make myself too sad about that one. Next up, a book that everyone has heard about, I'm sure. This is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, expected the 22nd of April. Sorry, Kian's talking in the background. I'm doing my best. 2 writers compete for the chance to tell the larger-than-life story of a woman with more than a couple of plot twists up her sleeve in this dazzling and sweeping new novel from Emily Henry. Okay, so we're following one character who is still dreaming of her big writing break. And then the male love interest is a Pulitzer Prize winning human thundercloud. They're both on balmy little Crescent Island for the same reason, to write the biography of a woman no one has seen in years. Oh, at least to meet with the person who claims to be Margaret Ives. Interesting. When she invites them both for a 1-month trial period, after which she'll choose the person who'll tell her story. There are 3 things keeping Alice's head in the game. Oh my god. So they have to compete to be the person who gets to write the biography, which this feels like The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but the romance is between the writers, not the famous person. I'm really excited about this one. Next up, we're going back to horror. This one is Eat the Ones You Love by Sarah Maria Griffin. A twisted, tangled story about workplace love affairs and plants with a taste for human flesh. During a grocery run to her local shopping centre, Shell Pine sees a help needed sign in a flower shop window. She just left her fiance, lost her job, and moved home to her parents' house. She has to make a change and bring some good into her life, so she goes inside and takes a chance. Shell realizes right away that flowers are just the good thing she's been looking for, as is Neve, the beautiful florist who wrote the sign asking for help. Orchid growing out of sight in the heart of the mall is watching them closely. His name is Baby. Wait, the orchid's name is Baby? Is a flower a character? And the beautiful florist belongs to him. He's young, he's hungry, and he'll do just about anything to make sure he can keep growing big and strong. Nothing he eats, nobody he eats can satisfy him. Is this a flower that eats people? Except the thing he most desires. Neve. He adores her and wants to consume her. Oh my, this sounds so cool. This is a story about possession and monstrosity and working in retail. It is about hunger and desire and other terrible things that grow. I don't know if I had read the synopsis fully. That really excites me. This one is a young adult book, but it is a lesbian romance, so maybe I would read it. It's called If We Were a Movie by Zakaya and Jamal. Yeah, see, college application is not my favorite thing to read about in a book, but she gets an opportunity to work at the cinemas, the beloved black-owned movie theatre. She jumps at the chance to boost her chances of getting into her dream school. There's only one problem. Amira works there and is also her boss. I mean, it seems like it's really cute, and depending on how young adult it is, it might work for me. This one looks like young adult, but it's an adult romance. This is Anywhere You Go by Bridget Morrissey, another sapphic romance. Pitched as a queer take on The Holiday Meets The Switch, in which a small town waitress and big city press agent swap homes to escape their personal lives, only to complicate their situations further when they each find love away from home. Interesting. I feel like this cover is giving young adult. Something about it. I don't know what it is, but it sounds fun. Next up, another book that has just been pushed back forever. This one is the fourth book in the Nevermore series. It's called Silverborn by Jessica Townsend. I feel like this was meant to come out years ago, and it is finally coming out 25th of April. This is not going to be interesting to people who haven't read the first 3 books, but this is the 4th book. It's a really cute middle grade fantasy series that I absolutely love. It definitely gives vibes of like Harry Potter, but also Hunger Games, Divergent, but in a middle grade setting. I would recommend it to anyone who is looking for that. Obviously, you need to read the first 3 books, but I'm very, very excited for this one. Oh my god, and there's the cover. Next up, I have one that... Wait, is this in the wrong spot? This says expected 7th of January, and down here it says expected April 29. Maybe that's why I've got it in the April part when it's meant to be in the January part. I don't know. I have an arc of this. This is Bat Eater by Kylie Lee Baker. I'm so excited about this one. It's a horror book. Sorry, he's reading a book next to me. Cora Zhang is a crime scene cleaner, washing away the remains of brutal murders and suicides in Chinatown. The bloody messes don't bother her, not when she's already witnessed the most horrific thing possible, her sister being pushed in front of a train. Before fleeing the scene, the murderer whispered 2 words, Bat Eater. Months pass, the killer is never caught, and Cora can barely keep herself together. She pushes away all feelings, disregards the bite marks that appear on her coffee table, and won't take her aunt's advice to prepare for the Hungry Ghost Festival when the gates of hell open. Cora tries to ignore the rising dread in her stomach, even when she and her weird co-workers begin finding bat carcasses at the crime scene cleanups, but Cora can't ignore the fact that all their recent cleanups have been the bodies of East Asian women. Soon Cora will learn you can't just ignore hungry ghosts. I feel like this author had written fantasies before, and I was recommended them based on the fact that I love mixed race characters and like racial discussions, which I'm sure this will also have, based on the fact that it's only East Asian women who are being murdered in this book. But I'm so excited. I need to get into my arc. If it comes out in January, I thought it came out in April. I'm obviously confused. Next up, we have another queer romance. This one's called My Best Friend's Honeymoon by Meryl Wilsner. This says a spicy female/non-binary romance where 2 lifelong best friends go on a non-refundable honeymoon together and discover sometimes to find happily ever after you just have to ask. Okay, so Elsie has been engaged to her college boyfriend for 1.5 years. Ginny has been in love with Elsie for almost 1.5 decades. Elsie discovers her fiance already planned their wedding and honeymoon as a surprise, and she's expected to be in a white dress in 7 days. She swiftly realizes she's let herself become too comfortable with a future she never wanted. She breaks things off, and a week later is on a plane to the Caribbean for her non-refundable honeymoon with her best friend Ginny. Oh, this sounds so fun! And plus, what a cute cover! This one is young adult again, but also lesbian, so maybe I would read it. It says Nav's Foolproof Guide to Falling in Love by Jessica Lewis. Giving the new girl lessons in romance so she can woo your best friend couldn't possibly go wrong, right? Perfect for fans of Becky Albertalli and Casey McQuiston, this romantic comedy from Jessica Lewis is packed with heart. Nav knows how to flirt, but she also knows love is a messy, losing proposition. When shy new girl Gia asks Nav for help getting Hallie's attention, Nav makes sure she seems genuine. She doesn't want to add another heartbreak to Hallie's never-ending list. They strike a bargain, and Nav agrees to give Gia lessons in romance. If it works, maybe Hallie can date someone decent for a change. Except Gia's not bad at flirting, she's terrible. She's too anxious to even speak to Hallie, never mind date her. everywhere, but somehow every awkward joke and catastrophic practice date makes Nav like Gia a bit more, and not in a friend way. Okay, did I read another book that had someone teaching someone else how to flirt, or did I imagine that? Last book, we have a non-fiction book. I feel like this is the first non-fiction I've had on the list, but this is The Eyes of Gaza. It's expected to come out on the 17th of April, and this is a memoir, and I feel like it's going to be a very important memoir based on the state of our world. And I don't have many non-fictions on the list, so this one is definitely one to watch out for. Oh my god, don't tell me it wasn't recording the whole time. Okay, I hope that was recording the whole time, and now I'm panicking. My computer is just not my friend today, honestly. Thank you so much for watching this one. I'll be back for one final round of the final 25-ish books that I'm interested in picking up next year. And if you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, those are already on my channel by now. I appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next one.